Hello everybody, my name is Rainer, this is Rainierbooks, and today it's Tuesday, January 11th. And it's Tag Tuesday. I'm doing a tag video. I'm doing the 26 questions tag by David Murphy, and I put a link to David's channel down below. But while filming, I discovered that 26 questions, and some of them are questions where you can say a lot, are pretty long. So I'll make two parts out of this. 13 questions in part 1 and 13 answers in part 1 and 13 answers in part 2. So let's get started. To get a glass of wine, this is from the Columbia Valley in Washington State in the United States. So, cheers. What was your question number 1? What was your most recent YouTube? Well, come on, I'm not drunk. What was your most recent YouTube rabbit hole? So easy as that. I watch a lot of YouTube at times, and it's absolutely right. I can get into rabbit holes. If rabbit hole means something or some field or some topic that you follow, that you're watching and watching and watching. And I have to admit right now that recently I watched a lot of videos from BBC Africa, because I want to educate myself about Africa, which has several reasons actually. Apparently I was reading The Promise, thank you, The Promise by Damon Galgut last year. I also read, which was my favorite book, if you have seen my top 10, I also read The Son of the House by Chiluchi Animalukwe Onwobia. And this month in January, actually, the Africa Cup in soccer, or football as we call it in Europe, is being played for men's national teams. So every day there are great African teams competing with each other, and it's on different pay TV stations also here in Europe, but it's not very much covered by European or American media like a European championship or a world championship would be. So I heard a very interesting discussion about why is that so? Why do the Africans have to play their cup in January when almost nobody watches football or soccer? Yes, and a very progressive German coach that I like a lot, Ewald Lienen, who's running a beautiful podcast, if you speak German, called Der 16er, The Box. Ewald said, well, I think it's no wonder they do this in January. You have to do this in January because we don't see any news about Africa either. So it's the same with sports and with football. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to educate myself about some African countries, at least by BBC Africa, by watching Al Jazeera videos. And I learned also already quite a lot about the diversity of the continent, but also about the issues going on there. So that's my recent and current rabbit hole, actually. Number 2, what song is currently stuck in your head? Oh, I have no song that's, song that's stuck in my head. I have some songs that have stuck in my head for a long, long time, for so many years and almost decades. And one of them is Dum 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 Dum. That's The Police with Walking on the Moon. I love this bass line. And there are other songs by Big Thief. Shark Smile is always in my head since I heard it for the very first time, and since I like the songwriter and alt country musician Jason Isbell a lot. There's a lot of Jason Isbell that sounds with me. His lyrics are beautiful, and today I heard If You Want to Cry. Today I heard If We Were Vampires of him and his beautiful wife Amanda Shires. So these are songs that can stuck in my head, probably. What kind of music do you listen to the most? Well, if you see my Spotify statistics that I got from last year, because Spotify is surveilling every one of its users. Spotify is sort of counting, and they are producing lists and everything which cover to your taste, which carry to your taste. That's sort of nice in a way. They also do surveillance, of course, on you. So I got the list from Spotify what did I listen to most last year? And since I was reading in December a lot I was sitting in this IKEA Strandmount chair, and I was listening a lot to Gustav Mahler, I think an Austrian composer, Jewish Austrian composer from the 19th and early 20th century. That was actually the one I listened to most, but usually I listen a lot to indie, I think, and indie is a lot of different things, well, right? And I also listen to a lot of alternative country, to musicians like Jason Isbell, as I said, Jason Isbell in the 400 unit, to the late Justin Townes Earl. It shocked me still when I think that he's dead, 38 years old. He died 2 years ago, OD'd in Nashville, Tennessee. And I also listen to the wonderful American country musician Gretchen Peters, who is from living in Nashville, and which means I'm not a country music guy, but sometimes I feel a lot of closeness to their lyrics, and I like how they describe life and the situation we're living in. So listen to Lowlands by Gretchen Peters if you want to catch something, a glimpse of the atmosphere in the United States after Donald Trump got elected as president. Lowlands by Gretchen Peters. So what is something you... Thank you. What is something you need to get better at? I need to get better at a lot of things, at being more precise in my videos, more concise, shorten them down when I speak of YouTubing. I need to get better in focusing on the tasks that are closest to me and get rid of them and push them away from the table when they're ready. And I also should learn to say more clearly what I think and what I stand for, and we all should do that, I think. Do you swear to... No, come on. Do you set goals? What are the goals for the end of the year, next year? Okay, let's say next year, and this meaning this year. My goals in terms of reading are to read 60 books, which would be a new record for me, maybe even more, we'll have to see. I finished 3 already, and I'm pretty good. I have a pretty good start. And this is one of my most important goals for the channel. Expand the channel to 1,000 subscribers, which would probably give me a lot of weight contacting publishers to get an ARC in print form as well. I would love to read All the Lovers in the Night by Mirko Kawakami in advance and do a video on my channel. It's published by Picador in the UK, but Picador, for example, says we only deliver things to bloggers or vloggers who have more than 1,000 subscribers, which I can understand. So that's one of my goals, probably. Also, super fresh content to you. What was the last time you lost your temper? I lose my temper. Losing the temper is maybe... I get angry a lot. The older you get, the more angry you get, probably, at the state of the world. But I don't lose my temper in a way that somebody has to hold me back. So I want to say that this happens. Do you swear too much? Yes, of course. And I'm still... Maybe any one of you who's also booktubing or YouTubing has some kind of advice. Are there any beep buttons that you can sort of insert into your videos? That would be great to know. Do you spend much money on shoes? This is number 8. We are at number 8 now. No, I don't spend too much money on shoes. I don't spend so much money on clothes. I've never done, actually, but I have reduced that also, knowing what kind of impact the production of clothes and of shoes have on the state of the world, on the environment. We should all limit our consuming clothes that much that we have done. In Germany, there's an average number which is almost unbelievable. I think 150 pieces of clothes are being bought by every citizen in Germany each and every year. And that says that some are maybe buying 10 or 12, but others might buy clothes in the hundreds. So, number 9, what is the worst book you have ever read? No, I would, if this book would exist, I would have DNF'd it. So I don't want to mention any book here, which is the worst book that I've ever read. No. Homebody, or are you more adventurous? I have become a homebody, definitely, because we have a pandemic, which started 2 years ago. Actually, today, 2 years ago, the official first casualty was reported from COVID-19 in China. So that has made almost everyone to a homebody. No, I don't travel during the pandemic that much. Otherwise, I have discovered that travels and trips have become a very important thing for me before the pandemic, because I always could focus on the summer or on the winter, on that trip to Lisbon, on that trip to Rome, on that trip to London, to have something to look forward to. That was very important for me. So I'm both a homebody and I'm also sometimes adventurous, which doesn't mean I would go to very dangerous neighborhoods or to very dangerous countries or cities. You take naps? Yes, I took a nap today, actually, in my lunch break. During my lunch break, I was so tired because I got up at 6 a.m. in the morning. So I took a nap. Have you ever been to Minnesota, the greatest state in the Union? No, I haven't been to Minnesota. But when I traveled back from last time from the United States to Europe, that was in 2018. I traveled back from San Francisco International Airport, and we arrived in we arrived in Amsterdam. Now, come on, I'm talking BS here. Beep. When I traveled in 2017 from Portland, Oregon, from Portland International Airport to PDX to London Heathrow, and then continuing to Stockholm, because we were booked. Actually, our plane to Amsterdam didn't leave from Portland; it was cancelled. So we were placed on a plane to London, and then when we arrived in Stockholm, we found out our luggage hadn't arrived. So our luggage, and then I sort of asked, "Where's my luggage?" And they told me, "Your luggage, actually," and I could show you proof. I have to look for proof, but it's true. It's true. Our luggage, my daughter's and my luggage have been in Minnesota, in the beautiful city of Minneapolis and St. Paul, because the luggage went from Portland to Minneapolis and then to, I don't know, Amsterdam and then to Stockholm, probably. Something like that. So my luggage has been in Minnesota, and maybe this shirt has been in Minnesota, but I haven't been there. 13, have you ever tried to emulate somebody? Emulate someone. What does to emulate mean? I look it up. That's imitation. To imitate someone because you admire them a great deal. We always do that. There's a beautiful line I think many of us do that. Not all of us, but many of us. There's a beautiful line in Bruce Springsteen's song Backstreets. For all of you who are a little bit older and who listened to Backstreets in 1975, I didn't when it came out, but I listened to it later. There's when Springsteen is singing, we tried to learn how to walk like the heroes we thought we had to be. So we tried to walk like the heroes. I remember that from my childhood, from my teenage days, at least, we were in the cinema, seeing some action film, and after the movie, you would try to walk like the hero. That's what Springsteen says in that song, and I think that many of us have done. But nowadays, I love to try to do impressions on people. I could do a pretty good Donald Trump, people said, but it's not somebody that I admired. But many did it, Donald Trump, not because they were admiring him, that I can tell you, as he would say. So right now, I'm not emulating anyone. With this answer, it's the end of part 1, and I see you soon, hopefully, in part 2.